Hello all, welcome back to Time to Dice Character Creation, where we make your favorite fictional characters in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This week, we're mining some inspiration from the newly released Minecraft movie, by crafting none other than the blocky legend himself, Steve. This is normally the part of the video where I'd give you a quick rundown of Steve's backstory, but, well, Minecraft's story is a little bit more open-ended than that. And by that, I mean, there's a million different ways to interpret the game's lore, if you even believe it has canon lore. At the end of the day, it all boils down to this. You're alone, you build stuff, you try not to explode. So beware of spoilers, and without further ado, let's get started. So what do we need to build a blocky builder? Well, first, we need survival skills sharp enough to brave the wilderness alone, and to tame everything from dogs and cats to parrots, axolotls, and even gas in the newest update. Next, we'll need a weapons rack that'll make a blacksmith blush. Swords, tridents, shields, maces, bows, you name it, Steve swung it. He's basically a walking armory. And lastly, we need a touch of vertical mobility. Whether it's scaling a mountain or jumping off your 300 block dirt tower, we need to be able to pop out an elytra and take to the skies. You might think Steve's a human, but you'd be wrong. He's a blocky figure who spends all of his time digging deep in the mines, emerging only to smelt what he finds into more tools and head right back in. If that's not the most dwarf-coded behavior in gaming, I don't know what is. So, we're going dwarf. As a dwarf, we're a medium creature with 10 starting hit points and an attribute boost to Constitution, Wisdom, and Strength. Perfect for surviving creeper blasts and swinging pickaxes. In exchange, we take a hit to our Charisma, which makes sense. All the dialogue in Minecraft is horrible. We'll get a speed of 20 foot per action, and Dark Vision so powerful it's like turning the in-game brightness slider to max. For our heritage, we're going with the Ancient Blooded Dwarf, a nod to the Ancient Builder theory. It grants us a reaction that gives us a +1 circumstance bonus to any saving throw we make before we roll it. Perfect for going toe-to-toe with evokers. Next is our background. And here's where we hit a bit of a conundrum. Steve doesn't come with an official backstory, so we've got to dig a little. Fortunately, the perfect fit is right under our feet. Miner. I mean, come on, it's right there in the name. The miner background gives us a boost with our wisdom and intelligence, reflecting Steve's uncanny ability to both survive on his own and invent redstone contraptions that may or may not defy physics. We also get training in survival and mining lore, great for gathering ores, planting gardens, and everything in between. Finally, we pick up the terrain expertise skill feat, which gives us a +1 bonus to survival checks when underground. Perfect for those who like to build their base deep below the surface. You know, away from zombies, skeletons, and HOA complaints. When it comes to survival, no class does it better than the Ranger. They're built for the wild. And in Steve's case, that wild includes lava lakes, hostile mobs, and the occasional gravel avalanche. Rangers get expert proficiency in perception for that pixel-perfect accuracy, expert in fortitude and reflex saves to be both tough and nimble, and train in will saves to keep that Minecraft fever going for more than a week. For skills, all Rangers automatically get survival, but since we already grabbed that from our background, we'll swap it out for medicine, because who needs potions when you've mastered stake-based healing? We also get acrobatics for sneaking along narrow ledges by holding the shift key, athletics for hauling 200 pounds of diamonds like it's nothing, crafting for, well, obvious reasons, diplomacy for getting the best trades out of villagers, nature for building our own personal zoo, and stealth to avoid catching the warden's attention. As for our gear, Rangers get proficiency in all simple and martial weapons, which fits perfectly with Steve's everything but the crafting table arsenal. We also get up to medium armor, but I have a hard time imagining diamond armor is anything less than heavy, so we'll definitely be upgrading this later. For our attributes, we're going with a +2 in everything except charisma. One of the greatest strengths of Minecraft is its flexibility. You can play however you want. So, in that spirit, we're balancing out our stats across the board to keep Steve ready for anything we set our pixelated hearts on. Disclaimer. Normally in Pathfinder 2e, this kind of extreme multiple ability dependency stat spread isn't exactly optimal. Specializing is 98% of the time the way to go. So, if you're planning on taking this build into a real campaign, I would highly recommend picking a part of Steve that speaks to your playstyle and adjusting your attributes accordingly. Want to focus on archery? Pump the dexterity stat for better accuracy. Leaning into melee combat? Boost strength instead. Want to punch trees harder? Okay, that's still strength, but you get the idea. That brings us to level 1, where, as with most builds, we need to choose a subclass, and for us, that's our Ranger's Edge. Now, I don't think the Outwit Edge quite fits the bill here. No one's ever described Minecraft combat as particularly tactical. Swing sword until problem disappears. It's not exactly something you'd find Sun Tzu writing about. This leaves the flurry and precision edges, and since Mojang made button mashing obsolete back in 2016 with the combat overhaul, we're going with precision. This gives us bonus damage on the first successful attack we land against our hunted prey each round. Speaking of which, let's talk about Hunt Prey. This feature lets you designate a target to focus on, granting a +2 circumstance bonus to all perception checks to seek that target or survival checks to track them. Not the most Steve-based ability, unless you're running a wilderness hunting mod, but we'll take it. Level 1 also gives us an Ancestry feat and a class feat. For our Ancestry feat, we'll pick up Unburdened Iron, which lets us ignore the speed penalty from any armor we're wearing. It also reduces our other movement speed penalties by 5 feet, letting us run across soul sand like it's polished diorite. And for our class feat, we'll grab Animal Companion, because every Steve needs a loyal wolf named Dennis. He's a good boy, 12 out of 10, no notes. At level 2, we'll pick up the Hunter's Aim feat, letting us spend an additional action to fully charge our bow before firing. This gives us a +2 bonus to our attack row, and allows us to ignore a target's concealment or lesser cover, because waiting for the perfect shot is the key to hitting those creepers at a distance. We also grab the Tame Animal skill feat. Sure, we've already got our trusty wolf companion, but this feat lets us tame any other creature we might encounter. That means stray cats, foxes, ghasts, anything you want you can add to your menagerie. Just don't try to tame a creeper, unless you're feeling really lucky. At level 3, we gain the Shield Block feat, allowing us to use our shield more effectively. With this, we can use a reaction to reduce any physical damage coming our way, so whether it's a rogue skeleton's arrow or a surprise zombie ambush, we are covered. Level 3 also grants us Will Expertise, boosting our Will save proficiency to Expert, letting us resist the mental urge to flee off a cliff when facing a Ravager for the first time. At level 4, we take to the brewing stand with the Alchemist dedication. This gives us 4 versatile vials each day, letting us craft one of 8 useful recipes. Minecraft Brewing Stand has a ton of possibilities, so let's quickly cover the 8 that I'd choose. Potions of Healings will be Elixirs of Life. Potions of Swiftness are a Cheetah's Elixir. Splash Potions of Slowness can be Glue Bombs. Splash Potion of Instant Damage can be Necrotic Bombs. Dark Vision Elixirs are good stand-ins for Potions of Night Vision. Potions of Jumpings can be made with Leaper's Elixir. And the Potion of Poison can be replicated with anything from the Alchemical Poison list. Oh, and Turtle Master's Potion is the Juggernaut mutagen. We also get Crafter's Appraisal, letting us open up the Minecraft wiki on any item that we find to see if it unlocks any new crafting recipes for us. At level 5, we'll grab Dwarven Dottiness, which increases our recovery speed from Frightened. Instead of reducing our fighting condition by 1 each round, we'll reduce it by 2. This means we're a lot tougher in the face of fear. Because, let's be honest, the first time you've encountered an Enderman, it's terrifying. After that though, it's just another Tuesday night in Minecraft. We also grant the Trackless Journey feature, which prevents us from leaving tracks behind without slowing us down to half speed. And finally, we unlock Ranger's Weapon Expertise, which boosts our weapon proficiency to Expert. This lets us really lean into a preferred combat style, and we can apply our critical specialization effects whenever attacking our hunted prey. Mature Animal Companion at level 6 gives Dennis a combat upgrade and a dash of independent spirit. He can now take a single action to either stride or strike each turn, even if not commanded, perfectly mimicking the moment he sees you get hit by an arrow and charges heroically into a swarm of undead for a noble but inevitably tragic demise. Every single time. Meanwhile, Armored Stealth helps us sneak in style, either reducing the penalty to stealth checks we take from wearing armor, or straight up ignoring the noisy trait on any armor that we happen to be wearing. By level 7, we've been rocking that leather armor for way too long. It's time for a glow up. So we grab Armor Proficiency to gain us training in heavy armor, so we can finally slip into up to netherite armor. Natural Reflexes kicks in this level, boosting our reflex saves up to master and turning our regular successes into critical successes. Gonna be honest, not a lot of reflex saves coming up in Minecraft, unless you count backing up from pressure plates once you've triggered a trap. This level also unlocks Perception Mastery, boosting our perception proficiency to master, and Weapon Specialization, adding a nice little damage boost to all of our strikes, because if you're gonna swing, you might as well swing hard. At level 8, we unlock Advanced Alchemy, letting us prep 4 infused alchemical items each day, basically giving us a couple more potions, bombs, or buffs on standby, as long as we actually plan ahead. And with magical crafting, we finally get to hit up an enchantment table and start adding some sparkle to our gear, because nothing says I'm ready for adventure like a sword that grows ominously and armor that hums with arcane vibes. At level 9, we pick up the Ancestry feat Stone Bones, giving us a 20% chance to downgrade any critical hit to a regular hit. Nature's Edge lets us treat enemies standing in natural difficult terrain as off guard, and Ranger's Expertise bumps our class DC up to Expert, making all of our special abilities just a little bit harder to resist. Or at least it would if we had any. Honestly, level 9 is kind of a dud for abilities that perfectly fit Steve's playstyle, but we make up for that at level 10 with a bunch of choices that fit perfectly. First, we'll take Incredible Companion, giving Dennis 2.0 another combat upgrade, and letting us pick between Nimble and Savage. Since Minecraft dogs aren't exactly known for their acrobatics, unless falling off cliffs counts, we'll skip the Nimble route and go full Savage, increasing his strength and therefore his accuracy and damage output. This means he's almost formidable enough not to be left at home all day. Almost. We also grab the powerful Leap skill feat, finally cashing in on all those parkour maps by adding 5 feet to all of our jumps. Sprint jumping across rooftops? Check. Leaping lava pits? Also check. Looking cool while doing it? Needs work. You're still playing Minecraft after all. Let's be real. Steve might look like a walking cardboard box, but the things he survives, lava baths, dragon fights, digging straight down, definitely not mundane. That's why, at level 11, we're taking Aximus Awakening to sprinkle a little magic into the mix. Specifically, we're going to grab the Deep Breath cantrip to put down a door or sugarcane to give us as much time to breathe as we need, and the Glamorize cantrip to change our skin and make us look pretty cool. But don't try to use this as a disguise. Your nameplate still constantly floats above your head after all. Interposing Earth will be our first strength spell, letting us put up a couple of blocks of cobblestone to soften attacks. And the rank 2 spell Web lets us put down a web trap, slowing down enemies and possibly immobilizing them entirely. Swinging your sword is great, but what makes Steve Steve is his ability to put down blocks, altering even the most hostile terrain into something that he can use to his benefit. Level 11 also gives us ranger features, like Warden's Endurance to shore up our fortitude saves, helping us shrug off poison, fire, and suspicious stew. Unimpeded Journey lets us ignore most natural difficult terrain and treat greater difficult terrain as normal difficult terrain, and Medium Armor Expertise will boost our proficiency in armor up to Expert. Just because we look like a walking anvil doesn't mean we have to move like one too. At level 12, we make another trip to the Nether because, well, let's be honest, one brewing stand is never enough. With the Voluminous Vials feat, we boost the number of versatile vials we have each day, meaning we can make more alchemical goodies, more bombs, more potions, more chaotic chemistry. What's not to love? And for our skill feat, we're going to pick up Quick Climb, which basically lets us nerd pull our way up vertical surfaces without issue, by adding 5 feet to all successful athletics checks we make to climb. Whether it's scaling a nether fortress, a mountain, or your friend's overly ambitious castle build that he never got around to completing the redstone doors for. At level 13, we'll take the March the Mines Ancestry feat. The ultimate dwarven flex lets us burrow through the ground, not once, but twice, with a burrow speed of 15 feet. And because we're feeling generous today, we can even bring a friend along, either to shield them from danger on the surface, or pull off the most legendary accidental burial prank ever. Meanwhile, Weapon Mastery gives us a more practical upgrade, boosting our proficiency in all simple and martial weapons to Master. At level 14, we're going to go with a little bit of a strange option, Kineticist Dedication. Not necessarily for anything that it gives us right now, but just so it can open some more doors down the road. For now, just know that we'll be grabbing the Air Gate. Technically, this allows for us to do some elemental blast when we gather elements, but honestly, it's really not worth it at this point. Let's just move on to Quick Repair. This skill feat lets us plop our gear onto an anvil and repair it in a single round. No more waiting for downtime to fix our trusty tools. Just a quick clang clang and we're back in action, ready to deal with whatever the world or the nether throws at us next. At level 15, we're going to pick up the Craft Anything feat, letting us remove the requirements from any crafted item we want to make. Steve's a master not just of what he can make at a crafting table, but also using his amazing skills to create everything from architecture to redstone computers. We also get proficiency boosts like greater natural reflexes, boosting our reflex proficiency to legendary, as well as bumping all critical failures up to regular failures, and halving the damage we take from failed saves. Perception Legend boosts our perception proficiency to legendary, and greater weapon specialization increases the damage we deal with every strike, yet again. At level 16, we'll pick up the Through the Gate archetype feat, and with it, the Air Cushion feat. Who needs to worry about fall damage when you can just throw down a water bucket at the last second? We also grab Lead Climber, which lets us pop down ladders as we scale heights, making it easier for allies to follow in our footsteps. And at level 17, we'll grab Mountain Stoutness, the Ancestry feat that's basically toughness but with a cooler name. You didn't think we were going to go the whole build without picking up toughness, did you? Now we're even harder to take down, with additional hit points equal to our level, and a reduced recovery save to avoid death. We also get Masterful Hunter, which boosts our class DC to Master, as usual, but it is more than just that. It also doubles the bonus we get from Hunt Prey, in addition to letting our second attack each round do 1d8 bonus precision damage against our hunted target. At level 18, we'll finally grab an Elytra with a Cyclonic Ascent feat from the Kineticist list, giving us a fly speed equal to our land speed for 10 minutes. Why walk when you can glide through the air like a majestic, blocky superhero? And, to make things even better, we'll get to heighten it for free. So it's not just us that gets to go for a ride, we can also give Elytras to up to 5 of our friends. Just imagine the squad of adventurers all soaring together, leaving mobs in the dust while we glide to the skies. We also get the Environmental Guide skill feat, which lets us survive in some of the harshest conditions, whether it's the freezing cold of the mountains, the blistering heat of the nether, or the strange otherworldly quirks of the end. No biome can stop us now. We're like the ultimate survivalist, except I've never seen Bear Grylls taking on another fortress. At level 19, we pick up the legendary Survivalist feat, essentially setting our difficulty to peaceful for our character. No more worrying about food, water, or environmental damage. We can stroll through even the most extreme environments without breaking a sweat, completely immune to the effects of the incredible, severe, or extreme conditions. And Medium Armor Mastery makes our medium armor proficiency up to Master, making it technically better than our heavy armor again. But that's okay. With high-level Minecraft players, it's more about the style than it is the protection anyways. And to cap this level off, we get Swift Prey, meaning we can hunt prey once per round as a free action, clearing up some action economy issues we might have when dealing with multiple enemies. This isn't any more fitting than the regular hunt prey feature was for Steve, but it is incredibly useful for cutting out the action tags that we need for our more Steve appropriate abilities. And finally, at level 20, we'll pick up the Masterful Companion class feat, letting us share our Hunter's Edge ability with Dennis too, meaning we can benefit from the extra precision damage on our strikes, even if we decide to use something else like a web on our turn. And finally, we'll wrap this build up with a Quick Swim feat, adding 5 feet to all successful swim checks or 10 feet to critical successes. It's helpful, but I'd still probably rather use a boat. Alright, now that we've covered from levels 1 to 20, let's take a second to cover the pros and cons. First off, this is one of the most versatile builds that we've ever built for the channel. Being able to use all melee weapons, both melee and ranged, alchemical bombs, and spells for either defense or battlefield control, if you don't have something to contribute to a fight, you're not trying very hard. Next, Cyclonic Ascent lets us take to the skies, staying out of opponents' range and ignoring obstacles like difficult terrain, letting us snipe foes who are caught in soul sand or our web traps. And finally, we aren't just helpful in combat. With a ton of crafting and survival feats, we have the skills to play party guide in any terrain. We do have a couple of cons though. For one, that versatility is great, but like we said at the beginning of the video, if you truly want to stand out, you're going to want to specialize. Which leads us to our second problem, an over-reliance on feat trees. Between our animal companion feats keeping Dennis up to snuff, and the feats for both the Alchemist dedication and the Kineticist dedication, we have a lot of feats that are pretty much required for everything that we want to do, not giving us a lot of options for feats that actually give us new abilities. And finally, a lack of non-physical damage means that if you run into ghosts or other incorporeal creatures, you may start to have a problem. Just make sure to get some rest or the phantoms might start to become an issue. But that wraps up our Steve build. Overall, we're an unshakable, bomb-throwing, mountain-punching survival machine who crafts like a god, fights like a beast, and glide like a pixelated falcon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let us know in the comment section who you would like to see next time. But other than that, keep rolling high, and we'll catch you in the next one.